Let's come back home, and Westbury in Johannesburg remains tense this morning with a strong police presence. Yesterday, residents protested against increasing violence and police inaction. The protest comes after a woman was shot dead in alleged gang-related violence on Thursday. A 10-year-old relative was also hurt. ENCA's Lindokuhle Xulu is there for us and joins us now live. Lindokuhle, we're just counting down the hours now to that big community meeting, and I understand you are now about to speak to one of the people worst affected by the scourge of crime in Westbury.
Well, most certainly, Tembegile, I am with Mr. Ruben Peterson, who is the husband of the lady, Miss Peterson, who died in that passage. Of course, we understand that she was from a local school and she was fetching a report for the child that she was with, a report card. But that is when the incident took place. But Tembegile, we just want to get a sense of where Mr. Peterson is right now and what they think about the reaction from the community. But Mr. Peterson, thank you so much for allowing us in your home. First and foremost, we saw the community coming up and saying enough is enough. But how do you feel about that now, knowing that the community is actually doing something about what is happening in the community?
Well, personally, I know what I just mentioned just now, that for me, I appreciate what the community is doing, and it has been a long time coming. Understand? Because my wife wasn't the first victim. And as things stand and as things goes, I don't think, if these things don't get stopped, that my wife will be the last victim. We do not hope for things like that, but that's my way, the way I feel. If nothing gets done drastically through the subs and through the MECs and premiers and people like that, that's supposed to protect and serve, then I stand by my word. My wife most naturally will never ever be the last victim. How many times? And by the way, there was another guy is getting buried right now as we speak, who was also on this Sunday past was shot through the same circumstances, the same people, and obviously we don't know who the people are, but it's all in the one same. We put it on one same bracket. The shooting started Friday. It ended on Thursday with my wife getting shot. So asking me how I feel, that I can't say to you guys. I can't describe the way I feel. I can't say, I can only say, okay, right, the community is also fed up with this nonsense that's going on. But as to how I feel, that you don't want to hear that in words. I don't think anybody wants to hear that in words, the way I feel. My children is here. As you can see over there, my baby child is here. My baby is 4 years old. How do you think I should feel? You understand what I'm saying? Because of this illegal things that's happening, and innocent people gets caught in the crossfire. It's not a nice feeling, to be honest, and it's not a feeling that anybody should have. So I don't think you wouldn't like to know how I feel.
Mr. Peterson, I mean, understanding that you live in these conditions and there is crime in the area, but no one really expects that it would be them. You would be the victim in this case. But in terms of you finding out, we understand that you were at work. In fact, you told us earlier on. But take us through how you found out about what had happened and how you came about knowing that your wife has passed on in that manner.
Now, you see, what happened was I was at work, as you just mentioned, and I also mentioned. I was at work. I got a phone call while I'm busy working to say, I've got to come home. My wife has been shot. Understand what I'm saying? And as I rushed home in the car, I even phoned back to ask the people, whoever it was that phoned me, I don't know who it was, and asked what the situation was. And then I was told over the phone that my wife was passed on while I was on my way. And when I got here, I found my wife lying in the passage where you guys met me. And then I wanted to know what the circumstances was, why and how, and I was told that she was busy doing washing. She left the washing and she decided to go and fetch the child's report at school, and on her way back, my wife and the child that was with her got shot in in a crossfire and things like that. Now, being innocent, being at home, doing washing, just go out to and run an errand. And as you're running that errand, you never come back. That is the way of we are living now. You can't even afford to run an errand. You should be scared to go out of your gate to go to the shop. You can't send your child to the shop because you don't know if that is the first or the last that you're ever going to see these people. Like I said, she was running an errand. She went to go and do something that was personal, and for that she got shot. You see what I'm saying? So that's it.
I mean, one can only imagine how it is, I mean, living in such conditions, and especially in the crime in the area. But moving forward now, I mean, with all of these things now coming together, the community coming together, and even authorities promising that they will introduce this. But what exactly do you think will solve this crisis that you are faced as a community of Westbury? What will put this to a stop?
Personally, right, as you just mentioned that the authorities are involved in what promises. The authorities should stand by their word. It is by doing something that this thing can be stopped. Firstly is try and get rid of these drug devils. That is the most important thing. You get rid of them, you will get rid of most of the crime around. If there's nobody that supplies the drug, nobody will buy the drug. You understand what I'm saying? If there is no supplier for anything, like food or anything, nobody sells bread, nobody will eat. That's how it is. If you want these things to stop, it starts by where the root cause is the drugs. Understand? But unfortunately, we can't, even if we can, pinpoint, okay, that is the guy that's selling the drug. That is the drug devil or whatever. Within 2-3 days' time, the guy can get arrested now. 2 to 3 days' time, here's a guy walking around in the street. The guy gets shot now, the guy gets arrested. Within the next 24 hours, the guy's in the street again. How does it happen? Why does it happen? You ask yourself that question. Is because of the corruption of the subs. I don't say the whole police force is corrupt. That is, and I don't say, but there is a number of bad, very bad apples who is... I can say they're enjoying this because they're living off this. Now they're living off our sorrows. You understand? The bottom line is I could have buried my wife and somebody else got the benefit of that. They're getting rich. Well, that's my children. That child is 4 years old. She's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Her questions will never end. And these guys will just keep on making money. Right now they're busy making money as we speak. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if that does not stop, those things of shootings will never stop.
Mr. Peterson, just as a last question, I mean, I think one of the most traumatic things here is for the 10-year-old who witnessed what happened. But just take us through her condition now, both mentally and physically. We understand that she was taken to hospital to get treated, but how is she doing at this stage?
No, she's been released. She's okay. She's fine. But it did touch her mentally. You understand what I mean? And emotionally. And she's very traumatized. We don't even want to tell her that my wife has passed on. She doesn't know. As yet, right now, she doesn't know. But otherwise, physically, bodily, she's okay. But as for the rest of it, we can't say. And we don't even know what's going to happen if we do tell her that my wife is no more. You understand what I'm saying? That is why I'm saying there is no way that I can tell you how I feel. If I still have to go through all this. You understand what I'm saying? No way. Anybody can even try to ask me how I feel because they don't want to know how I feel. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, Tembegile, that is Mr. Ruben Peterson, who is the husband, of course, of the late Heather Peterson. But just taking us through the emotional damage that this has caused for them, but also telling us that this is a problem that has been going on for too long in the community, and of course hoping that perhaps something can be done about this time, and even saying those words that we hope that my wife would be the last person to actually experience this. I mean, that on its own is emotionally evoking, even to it can be emotionally evoking to anyone really watching this, but they are saying that, of course, there's still a lot that needs to be done for them. There is this mourning period that they need to get through. And, of course, the 10-year-old who survived, we understand, hasn't been told what happened to her aunt. But, those are the things that the family still needs to go through. But this just pays homage to the damage that this crime in this area has caused, not just this family, but a lot of families. And, of course, hoping that this is the last one. Mr. Peterson says, let's hope that something can be done at this stage.
Lindo Guhle Xulu, our reporter in Westbury, will live and hope. We'll take you back to Lindo throughout the day.